What's up guys, this is Zach, and today we're taking a look at Betrayer, a brand new atmospheric first-person shooter developed by Black Powder Games. Black Powder Games is a new development studio formed by several original developers from Monolith, the original studio behind the Fear franchise. Fear was always known as a first-person shooter that placed a heavy emphasis on your surroundings and all the weird and unsettling ways altering those surroundings can draw you into the game world. Betrayer really is no different. Betrayer offers an interesting twist to traditional first-person shooter mechanics and couples them with progression and mechanics reminiscent of Dark Souls. The art direction here is heavily stylized. Almost the entire game takes place in a world devoid of any and all color. Black and white dominate the landscape, with only enemies draped in red so as to aid the player in spotting them from a distance. While the game does allow you to adjust a saturation slider that can add quite a bit of color to the game, I preferred the game's original color scheme as it reminded me a lot of a graphic novel. You begin the game shipwrecked on a beach in 17th century Virginia. It's clear that there's something amiss here, and it's your job to find out exactly what that is as you descend further into the landscape. The opening minutes of gameplay play out in a fairly linear fashion. You find yourself following a straight path from one end of the map to the other, reading tips placed along totem poles, which explain basic game mechanics like how to attack, how to loot items, and how to use stealth. Finish the tutorial section and the game opens up in a big way. The game consists of several interconnected masses of land where the developers provide you free reign in your ability to explore every inch of the provided landscape. There isn't a whole lot of direction in the game, sans notes on the ground that explain bits and pieces of the story as you go along. Now, this can be a turn-off for those of you who like a more guided experience, but in a lot of ways, Betrayer harkens back to an earlier time in gaming, where not knowing what on earth you're supposed to be doing at any given time seemed to add a bit to the game experience. Combat in the game does take a little bit of getting used to. At its most basic level, it's really standard fare for a first-person shooter, but it is challenging. Your enemies are heavily armed, but yourself, not so much. You're required to use the environment to your advantage to really stand a chance against the game's unforgiving enemies. You'll notice that it's quite windy outside. You can utilize the wind to your advantage. Creep up on your enemy during a gust of wind and he'll never see you coming. Rushing headlong into battle is not recommended. Your weapons vary from bows and arrows to a variety of guns. Bows are best used at long range. Guns are great for massive bursts of damage, but they're inaccurate from a distance and can take quite a while to reload, all while your enemy is making a mad dash for your skull. Die and you lose your belongings. You'll want to run back to your corpse, which is fairly easily found thanks to the game's compass system, where you can recover any lost items or funds. Still, if you don't want to return to your body, gear can be purchased and ammo can be refilled at outposts, at least one of which typically dots the landscape of each area you explore. For more information about Betrayer, check out Black Powder Games' official website or its Steam page. Otherwise, head on over to MMOattack.com for more MMO gaming news, first impressions, and giveaways.
What's up, attackers? We are here with Mike, and we are at the worldwide headquarters of Loot Crate. This is where it all happens. So, Mike, let's take a look at what you guys got going on here.
Let's do it.